Coming up on Mississippi Roads, we take a look at the way people in the state fulfill their need for speed. From a NASA museum to go-kart races, a 10K run, and even pig races. Plus a well-known band racing to beat the world record for the most gigs played in a day. Hold tight, you're in for a wild ride.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Support for the arts segment of Mississippi Roads comes from the Mississippi Arts Commission, whose mission is to be a catalyst for the arts and creativity in Mississippi. Information available at arts.state.ms.us.
Down Mississippi Road, Mississippi Road.
Welcome to Mississippi Roads. I'm your host, Walt Grayson. This week, we've traveled to Vicksburg for their annual Run Through History. It's a 10K run, 5K walk. The Vicksburg National Military Park covers almost 1,800 acres. There's a lot to see and do. And on any given day, when the weather's good enough, you can see walkers and joggers taking in some exercise. So it's no surprise that more than 3 decades ago, a group of athletically inclined people got together and decided that Vicksburg's National Military Park would be a great place to mix beautiful scenery with their enthusiasm for running. Both the 10K race and the 5K walk start here in the parking lot of the park. Almost 1,000 people show up to give it their all, and you can almost feel the buzz as they line up and listen for the starting shot, which in this case is not so much a starting pistol, but a starting cannon. While the runners here in Vicksburg are trying to run past one another, we're going to dash off down to the Gulf Coast to the NASA Infinity Science Center, where they're in a race for space.
The Stennis Space Center was established in the 1960s. It was built to test the rocket engines and the stages for the Apollo program that got us to the moon. Around '75, we started testing the engines for the Space Shuttle program, and we did that until the Space Shuttle retired here recently.
While the retirement of NASA's Space Shuttle program may seem like the end of an era for space exploration, it's only the beginning of a new chapter in the history for the scientists at Stennis Space Center, who plan on taking humans farther into space than ever before.
After the Space Shuttle program ended, there's a popular misconception among the American public that NASA has going out of business, that the space program has ended. That is so far from the truth. We're currently testing rocket engines and building the next generation rocket that's going to take our astronauts beyond low Earth orbit to deeper into space. And one way that we can share that information with the public is through facilities such as Infinity.
Things like this center at Infinity, right on the roadside of I-10, provide to Mississippians the opportunity to learn that you don't have to go somewhere else to do something very creative and extraordinary in the world today.
Engine runtime 499.97.
If you're going to get to space, you have to first go through Hancock County. And this is where all of the engines are tested, right here. And without propulsion, you're not going very far.
And going further is the vision that Stennis Space Center has always shared with the public. That vision's even more clear today with a state-of-the-art NASA Welcome Center located just off I-10 near Pearlington, Mississippi, appropriately named Infinity.
Well, Infinity is a completely different experience from anything that has been offered previously. When you walk through these doors, what communicates to you is technology, state-of-the-art activities.
NASA and other agencies out at Stennis came together and brought a lot of our exhibits out here so that we could share the message of what we do at Stennis with the public.
With interactive kiosks and space memorabilia ranging from the first Saturn I and Apollo missions all the way up to the current International Space Station, Infinity is sure to spark the ideas and imaginations of all who attend. There's even a flight simulator that allows its passengers to explore outer space while keeping their feet firmly on the ground.
This is one of the closest things that you can actually get to a true flight simulator because this is a 6-axis machine. And this 6 axes are the same type of accesses that commercial pilots use to actually do the training. Now in our flight simulator, we don't have the controls, the gadgets, and the whistles, but we have the type of stimulation experience for you that when you get in it, you actually feel like you are truly in a spaceship traveling either around the world or launch off an asteroid and come back in. And there's even some Star Wars where you get to shoot an asteroid or two. The tie-in for Infinity with the flight simulator, it's just pretty simple, you know. It is an animated adventure ride that sparks the human imagination. It sparks the next generation to want to be involved in exploration of the space. And it's a good way for someone that may never have the opportunity to be on an airline or never have an opportunity to go anywhere and, you know, take them around, trip around the world within 5 minutes and bring them back home. We lose your luggage, of course, but, you know, so. But there is a movie and no in-flight meal, but we do okay.
This Infinity Center is like a beacon at the entrance to Stennis. It allows people to see that there's something here of great technological capability, draws people in to understand what the center is all about, and allows people to understand that there is a major operation occurring inside the Honey Island Swamp area in South Mississippi.
To be able to grow the next generation of explorers, to be able to inspire children to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, that is the ultimate outcome of this facility, is to inspire the next generation of explorers. Exploration has always been the beginning of something new. Whether it was exploring the mountains of the Great West, Lewis and Clark going to the Pacific Ocean, Columbus discovering America. However people want to look at that, exploration leads to great things, changes for the better, and right now our greatest frontier is space. So I believe that without it, our ability to expand our capabilities and our knowledge of the unknown that exists today, it would be very difficult without exploring space. We need to go out and look and see, discover what we don't know.
The run through history has been going on for more than 3 decades now, and while there are new runners every year that enter the race, some of these runners come back year after year. A few of them have been here for every race from the very beginning. And a lot of people turn this into kind of a miniature homecoming where they come to Vicksburg and visit family and friends just to be in this race. The run through history is one of the biggest 10K races in the state in terms of number of runners who show up to pound the pavement. And the sights along the path are gorgeous. Runners get a glimpse of the beautiful monuments that make the National Military Park so special, even if it's just for a few fleeting moments as the runners whiz by. Those participating in the 5K walk, however, can afford a few more moments to take in their surroundings or even chat with others. Hey, while we're looking at races, take a look at a group of race fans to get some big fun out of some smaller cars. Well, go-karts, in fact, at a racetrack in Jackson. The pit crews are busy making final adjustments to their cars while the drivers are preparing to make test runs. The sounds and smells of their finely tuned engines revving up fills the air as they line up and wait for the green flag. This has all the action and excitement of NASCAR racing in a slightly scaled-down version. The Mississippi Kart Association are at their home track located in John Butts Park in Jackson, and they're getting ready to put their vehicles to the test and race with the checkered flag.
I think auto racing brings a lot of different things to the table. One thing is a family atmosphere. It's a lot of camaraderie between the competitors and everything. I think just the time together is invaluable at the track. You know, you can have a bad race. It's kind of like having a bad day at work. You can have a good race and you know how to celebrate. We can teach them how to do that. And also just answer some life questions. It teaches a lot about life, the ups and downs, and just a chance for us to get together. It seems like in this busy society today, we're always going to and fro, but you're there at the racetrack early, you can test, you can practice, you get ready for the race.
Ken Causey and his son Michael have been kart racing for 2 years now. The experience is paying off at the track and at home.
And the first year we kind of did what we can do and kind of went out there and got a lot of seat time. As you know, in racing, seat time is the best, the most experience you can get. And so got some seat time last year, and this year he kind of took off. But he's been making good grades, and he was a good kid, kind of stayed in line, so that was one of his rewards.
Well, my first time was pretty good, but after the first couple races, I got better because practice makes perfect. I just like getting out there and competing with other people. It's just fun to do, and I like doing it with my family. We practice usually before the race, and we get there about 8 o'clock on a night race, so we usually get a lot of practice time.
When Michael is not in the seat of his go-kart, he can spend time with his dad at home practicing on a NASCAR simulator, perfecting his racing skills.
It does help because it shows you the lines, and so some turns are very similar to our track.
156.2. Stay on the yellow line. Go-karting with my son, you know, you learn something new every day, and of course when you go to the racetrack you learn 2 or 3 different things that other people are doing that are probably faster than you, and so you slowly learn which are the best ones.
James Bailey is also part of Team Causey. He enjoys the time he and his son get to spend together go-kart racing.
We're a member of the World Karting Association. This is the Mississippi Karting Association, and there's actually several tracks throughout the state of Mississippi. This is our club track. We run here against each other, but then we'll travel to like Tupelo or Columbus, New Orleans, and we'll race other people who come in there to race. I'd highly encourage people, fathers and sons, or even daughters. There's a lot of young ladies that are driving and doing real well. It's a lot of together time. We'll cook out, camp out.
It's just good family fun. It's something you can do. It's something that if the guys or if your son or daughter is not into the team sports and you know, wants to do something, he can compete not mentally and physically as well. It's great for their attitude. It's a positive adjustment. You know, you may come in first or fourth, but you've had just as good a time racing for fourth place as you have for first place.
I think that it's taught me a lot of patience because sometimes you're not gonna complete the pass, you just gotta let them go, and then once you just gotta pass them at the right time, and then you can keep leading if you're faster. It's not like a NASCAR win or anything, but it's pretty big to win a race.
The run-through history is a little over 30 years old, but of course the Vicksburg Military Park is much older than that. It was organized in 1899, and today it's home to more than 1,300 historic markers and monuments. The park itself and all the monuments in it were meant to stand as a testament throughout time of the war that divided our country a century and a half ago, the Civil War. And one of the most important locations in the war turned out to be the city of Vicksburg. Its strategic placement on the Mississippi River and its high cliffs and bluffs gave it the nickname the Gibraltar of the Confederacy. It took more than a month for the siege of Vicksburg to finally topple the city, but when it did, many say it was the turning point of the Civil War. And the park stands as a lasting reminder of both the war and the siege. Its monuments weathering heat and cold year after year, giving faces and names to the soldiers and commanders who might otherwise have faded into history books. As the runners continue toward the finish line here in Vicksburg, we're going to take a look at another kind of race where the competitors have 4 legs, not just 2.
Let's go, guys.
Pigs racing around a track. I mean, a lot of people have never seen it, and it's pretty neat. You know, you'll see a horse race or you'll see a dog race, but to see a pig race up close is pretty unusual.
To be sure, there are many unusual sights and sounds to be found along the midway of your local state or county fair. And lithe little piggies running hog wild around an oval track is bound to enliven even the dullest of fair-going bores. Tim Emerson of Emerson Farms has been racing pigs on and off midways throughout the U.S. for over 20 years.
That's Big Rock, that's Hammer Montana, and that's Snoop Hoggy Hog.
In fact, his Porkadega swine sprinters have proven to be so popular that he recently found himself overbooked and needing to be in 2 places at once.
Over here.
Luckily, he was able to procure a few porcine from friends Jay and Nicole Phillips, owners of the Show Me Safari swine racers.
Jay Phillips with Show Me Safari, he does it. He kind of got me started. We kind of swap things back and forth, and everybody helps each other.
Calling all the heats for Emerson Farms hurdling hogs is Show Me Safari's Anthony Grabinski. Anthony still fondly recalls the excitement he first felt seeing pigs fly down a sawdust track.
I was in Indianapolis, Indiana, when I saw the first pig race. And I just walked up and asked the guys for a job. They hired me. That was it after that.
I seen my first one when I was about 10 years old. And it was amazing. Just to see a pig that could do that is unbelievable. And then I found out that they're really smart animals. I mean, they're like the 3rd or 4th smartest animal that there is.
They're one of the highest animals on the intelligence list. You know, you can literally train a pig in about a day to do a trick.
We give them cookies, just something sweet that they learn to go to, and they're just like a dog. Once you give them a treat, they learn that that's what they're going to do. The first one to get there and the fastest they can get there, the more they like it.
Yeah, they like the oatmeal really well. They got a sweet tooth, and they really like to ham it up for them oatmeal cookies.
We run 3 different styles.
We got black and white ones, which are the Hampshires. We got the white pigs, which are the Yorkshires. And then we got black and white Vietnamese Asian potbelly.
They're like people in other animals. There's more that's more high-spirited than others, and some that just don't want to do anything.
That would be the potbellies. They just kind of walk around our track. We go to any county fair, we go to any festival, we do a lot of charity events that we go to. We've raised a lot of money for charity this year.
It's just whoever wants one. A lot of the time the fairs will call us. If we're in the area, we'll call them and see if they're interested in it. If you want to have fun, we can bring it to you. If you've never seen one, come out and see it. It's fun for everybody, whether you're 8 or you're 80, it doesn't matter. It's just a blast.
Yeah, just have a good time at the fair watching pig racing.
They help bring home the bacon. There's no 2 ways about it.
This is where the run through history ends. This is the battlefield ends, just right down the hill from the Vicksburg Military Park. Here's where they recognize the winners, they hand out the prizes. The runners sort of relax a little bit and wind down and maybe share a smile with one another. Having nearly 1,000 runners show up after legging it through the park means there are plenty of thirsty people around, and there are plenty of refreshments waiting for them once they cross the finish line. Just like the band The Chill back here is waiting on the runners here in Vicksburg to come across the finish line, well, there's another band counting on speed to help them with one of their quests. The band The Flaming Lips is trying to land themselves in the Guinness Book of World Records. We caught up with them as they came across the South here in Mississippi.
Flaming Lips always put on some kind of unique show.
The Flaming Lips.
Wayne Coyne and his craziness.
My name is Wayne. I'm in the band The Flaming Lips. And even though I think you could think of me as a musician, I really, I get to do a lot of cool things. I get to be in a space bubble. I get to shoot lasers out of my hands. I get to sing all kinds of great songs of love and triumphant optimism. We've been a group since 1983, and so that's a lot of time to do things.
And doing all sorts of things is just what the alternative rock band, The Flaming Lips, are all about, constantly pushing the envelope of experimental music.
For me, I don't know what even the envelope would be, to tell you the truth. I'm just doing what I like, and I just pursue that, and if it pushes it somewhere, fine. If not, I don't know. I don't think you can really think about it too much. I think if you spend your day thinking, yeah, we must do what's never been done, it may just drive you crazy. I think you just have to, I mean, for me, it's like, you know, I get an idea and I just pursue it. That doesn't mean it always works. Something like a 6-hour song, you have to be a little full of yourself to think, we're going to make a music that lasts for 6 hours and somebody's going to listen to it. And I think a lot of our audience, they're like me. You know, they're interested in new things and trying new things.
In the process of trying new things, the band decided a 6-hour song wasn't long enough. So they went back to the studio to record a 24-hour song.
And the reason that we only made it 24 hours long is because that's as long as all these digital formats, that's as long as it'll go. I think in the coming years, people will probably make it a little bit longer, but that was as long as it could possibly go. So for us, it was a little bit like, okay, well, we'll make a song that lasts for 24 hours. And luckily, otherwise, we'd still be working on it.
And the band didn't stop there. Just recently, the Flaming Lips set a Guinness Book World Record by playing 8 shows in a 24-hour period, starting in Memphis and ending in New Orleans, with 5 of those shows taking place right here in Mississippi.
We're playing a role in the OMA, the O Music Awards with MTV and VH1 and the Flaming Lips to break the world record, Jay-Z's world record, no less, which would be happy to get rid of that one.
It's not only good for Clarksdale, it's good for Oxford, for Jackson, for Hattiesburg, for Biloxi. Most of this gig is in the state of Mississippi.
Well, we're trying to break the world record. I mean, right? Isn't that the reason? I mean, I would like to come here and play anyway, but I wouldn't do it in such a hurry.
You stop and you think about the routing, and there's not, you know, where else in the United States would you go and have such interesting stops to make with as much history and rich musical history as we have in Mississippi.
The Flaming Lips played each venue in Mississippi for a total of 15 minutes, as required by the Guinness Book folks. But the record could have almost been broken in how fast the tickets sold out.
We had one phone line selling tickets, and we sold 350 tickets in 44 minutes on one phone line. They had said if we'd had a phone bank, we would have sold out in 22 seconds.
Well, we went on sale with Jackson and Hattiesburg the same day. Jackson sold out in 13 seconds. And Hattiesburg took 17 seconds.
And the entire 24-hour event was streamed live on the internet, putting Mississippi in the spotlight for all the world to see.
Dueling Hall is being broadcast live throughout the world to millions of viewers right now. And I mean, the impact that's going to have on the future of our town within not only the music scene, but I think the art scene, the sky's the limit now.
I want our audience to know that I am, you know, I'll do anything, you know, and that's the life that our audience has given me. You know, they're like, Wayne, go do your art, do your music, and when you get done with it, let us hear it and see what it's all about. And I take whatever risk, whatever I can do to do my thing. That's what they want me to do. You know? Yeah. So I do it. Yeah.
Well, the National Military Park in Vicksburg is open year-round except for major holidays. So if you ever want to see if you've got what it takes to do this 10K or 5K walk or run, well, the park will be here waiting for you. And plenty of visitors load up the family and drive from monument to monument and enjoy the picnic tables along the way. If you'd like more information about the National Military Park in Vicksburg, go to www.nps.gov/Vic. And regrettably, that's all the time we have for this episode of Mississippi Roads. If you'd like more information about anything you've seen in our show tonight, you can contact us at mpbonline.org/Mississippi Roads. Or join our Facebook page. Till next time, I'm Walt Grayson. I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.